I now have in my possession the first of 5 Focal IWLCR Utopia speakers that are going into the Techthusiasm entertainment spaces. 3 of these bad boys will be in the home theater room here, going behind my acoustically transparent 163-inch scope screen, and another pair are going up into the living room. I detailed the whole of kind of the project and the plans and the roadmap that brought us to the Utopias in the prior video, but in this video, since I have the first of the deliveries to come, I wanted to go ahead and open this thing up, take a first look at it, get my hands on it. Let's see what's all in the box. Let's talk a little bit about how it installs, how it connects, how it hooks up. It has been something that I've focused towards for quite a while. Super excited about the upgrade here. And again, this is just the tip of the iceberg in terms of what's on the way. So let's tear into this. I did already actually open it up and take a quick look, but we'll do kind of a whole unboxing, go through and all the details about the speaker here now. Now this is a beefy speaker. The shipping box itself is over 4 feet long and about 51 pounds. The speaker itself weighs in at about 43. This is a member, the top member of the Focal 1000 series speaker lineup, and I've been using the 1000 series for a few years here. Been super impressed with it, really have enjoyed it. This will be my third upgrade, essentially my third generation of upgrades with Focal speakers. So let's go through everything we have here. We have a little bit of documentation, custom integration pamphlet, and a just kind of general manual, as well as some safety information that's in here. Of course, like many Focal speakers, the 1000 series and this Utopia use beryllium tweeters. Beryllium is a toxic substance. It's perfectly safe when inside the speaker as it's supposed to be. However, if that ever gets compromised or whatnot, you do have some safety materials to be able to cover up and notices and information to protect yourself essentially from the material. We do have an Allen wrench in here. This will be for turning the screws that basically turn the latches that lock the speaker into its cutout on the wall. I do love the fact, as I mentioned in my prior video, that all of the 3 main speakers in the 1000 series occupy or require the same width of a cutout. So if you're upgrading from an IW6 to an IWLCR6 to an IWLCR Utopia, all you have to do is cut taller holes. So I'm going to come back to these brackets here in just a second when we talk about the grill. We do have a magnetic plastic cover in here, if I can grab it out. So a little bit of a protective shield, essentially, if you're doing dusty work, installation work, painting work, and all of that, and the speakers are in the walls. That magnetically attaches to the face of the speaker itself. We have our full-sized grill here. It does come in white. This is a paintable grill, metal grill, and it does also have, if I can show this a little bit, there is some like darker backing material that you can choose, I guess, to either use or not use as you see fit. To block kind of the ability to see more of the speaker through the grill holes. Now, this grill itself isn't the final piece that would go onto the speaker. Again, that's where these little bar brackets come into play. If we look closely at the edges of the speaker grill, we find that it doesn't go just to a solid edge. There's kind of like a bevel, I guess we would call it, and that's where these brackets come into play. And so we have some flexibility given the multitude of brackets in the box. So one of these brackets would definitely go to finish kind of one solid edge of the grill, and the other brackets, if we can see here, if you can notice, they have Focal logos, one allowing us to basically have a properly presenting Focal logo if the speaker is mounted horizontally. So the Focal logo is vertical there, and the other one gives us the ability to have a properly oriented Focal logo if the speaker is mounted vertically. So the logo is in line with the speaker grill, because of course the speaker can be used as both a vertical regular kind of speaker install or horizontal if you wanted to also use one for a center channel. Now these also are able to install directly into the wall if you make your cutout. That's how I'll be using them. They also have on-wall boxes for the 1000 series speaker lineup, which is pretty cool, giving you a lot more flexibility for placement and what if you need it on your walls. So let's set this to the side. And then we got one more piece of installation help. I like that they do this, is we have a cardboard cutout here. This is our template. So it's not just a flimsy piece of paper, it's a more solid cardboard cutout. I like how they give you the little holes, giving you the ability to put your fingers in there. You can set this up on the wall where you want it to be. You can level it out. You can draw your lines around it very securely, very confidently, and then make your cutouts all around. Each speaker comes with its requisite cutout template. Now I should make mention as well with regards to one moment back to the brackets. We'll talk about this a little bit more when we look at the speaker, but one other thing to keep in mind is that the IWLCR Utopia speaker can be directly connected, daisy-chained essentially in with the IW Sub Utopia subwoofer module. I will be using the subwoofer modules in my living room, not in the theater room, but when you get the subwoofer module, you get the requisite brackets that you need to be able to connect kind of multiple grills together and make it all look nice and clean. So we have nice safe packaging here, some styrofoam and some spacing all around, double styrofoam on the edges just in case the box were to take a rougher hit. Go ahead and take all of these out and we get into the main event speaker here. Now, as I mentioned, this is a sizable speaker on the order roughly of about 12 inches wide, occupying about 4 inches deep. So it's not super deep. You'd be able to use this in a lot of standard studded walls, and we're looking at almost 46 inches high to the edges of the faceplate. Of course, the cutout template is a little bit less than that because there is the overhangs when setting it into the opening. So I'm going to take this out of the box. It is hefty. Again, the speaker itself is about 43 pounds. 43 pounds for an in-wall metal construction, dense and nicely made. Slide this out of the way. And we'll get it out of the plastic bag. A little bit more packaging in there as well, just to protect on the edges. There's some really dense foam inserts, essentially, on the top and the bottom. Now this is a 7-driver speaker. There are 4 6.5 inch mid-bass, essentially mid-bass drivers. We have 2 3 1/8 mid-range drivers, and then that 1-inch beryllium tweeter there dead center in the middle. Now, as mentioned, as it is, the speaker can be placed vertically or horizontally, and we also have a little bit of play here with the mid-ranges and the tweeter together to be able to angle and direct the sound to where we want it to go. Sensitivity is a 92 dB. Bandwidth at the plus minus 3 dB point is rated at 45 Hz to 40 kHz. 8 ohm nominal impedance with a minimal impedance of 4.2 ohm. There's quite a lot of stuff here basically to drive. And we've already talked about the size and weight. Again, this is a very nicely made speaker, metal enclosure, excellent materials. Our Focal name, Utopia written there at the top with a badge Focal logo there at the bottom. We have a variety of elements kind of sticking out of the face of the speaker here. The felted tip one are magnet points. Again, that's for attaching both the cover during installation and work, as well as magnetically attaching the speaker grill when we're all done and we want to cover it up. We also have, again, the screws, the Allen wrench based screws that we would turn, which would pop out these brackets and then screw them basically towards the back of the wall for putting the speaker into an in-wall setup. Now, we do have some tunability in the speaker. We have these kind of jumper cables here, and there's actually 4 different sets of them. So we have a plus and minus 3 dB tuning point for the tweeter and a plus and minus 2 dB tuning point for both the mid-range section and the mid-bass drivers as well, and then a crossover point if we're connecting with the in-wall sub module. So we make our decisions and adjust these little U-shaped jumpers to select what we're looking for in terms of specific configuration. I'm not sure where I'll set any of this stuff to yet. When it comes to my installation, we'll see what transpires once we get there and we start measuring and running some Arc Genesis and kind of tuning all of this stuff specifically for the room. Now the binding post for the speaker at the bottom, we'll look at that in a second, but we can take the IW submodule and actually attach it either on the top or the bottom or both. The whole 1000 setup, the Utopia setup in that regard, is very, very modular. I'm going to flip this up and we'll get a quick look kind of at the side and the back. Again, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different turning brackets to lock the speaker into the wall. This is a fully sealed speaker, fully enclosed here on the back, and that back plate is screwed in with quite a few number of screws attached there. Now if we go around to the other edges here, I'm looking at the top. We can see there is basically some bracketing systems. This is again where the IW sub Utopia module would connect in. We have a speak-on connector port available here. You would get the cable for this with the actual IW sub module, and again also sealed here up on the top. Really nothing else of note there. Let's flip around to the bottom. So if you take a look at the bottom here, we see similar bracketing systems. Basically, again, that sub module able to use its connector pieces and brackets and fully kind of connect in. We have these spring-loaded, tensioned binding posts here for the speakers. This speaker does have 2 sets of binding posts. It is biampable, and in order to biamp, we would just pop out the bridging connection there between the binding post. I do plan to run my Utopias actually in both rooms. I'm thinking about or planning towards running a biamped configuration off the NADM28s in the theater, and then likely off hopefully a pair of NADM23s up in the living room. There also is a similar speak-on connection on the bottom to what was on the top. Everything nice and clearly labeled. There's clearly printed labeling all over the speaker around the connection point and the configuration zones. So yeah, this thing is just a beauty. I mean, solid construction, excellent materials, massively high pedigree of build quality. One of the things that's kept me really with Focal now through 3 levels of upgrades is I really like the brand. Again, I really like the pedigree. I like that they design and build and construct all of their own speakers, stuff like this, made in-house, made in France, handmade. Like, just attention to detail and build and engineering are all things that I appreciate as an engineer myself. MSRP on a single Focal IWLCR Utopia speaker is $8,000. Again, not an inexpensive speaker, but what we're dealing with here is real audiophile grade end game quality stuff. To my knowledge, there is no higher in-wall speaker available in the Focal lineup, and I think this guy matches up with the best of what's available out there on the market today. So this is only the first to arrive. I'm expecting 2 more for the theater and then 2 more yet again for the living room, along with 2 of the IW submodules for the living room as well. I will be moving forward with the home theater installation first. I also have a 4th IWLCR6 speaker so that I can be using the IWLCR6 for the surround positions. I'll take the ones out from behind my screen, add the new one, put those in those positions, sell off the IW6s, and again, we'll be running with 3 of the Utopias to come. So stay tuned for future content. I'll be vlogging the entirety of the installation as we go through the process of putting these in. I'm going to have to pull some extra speaker wire for the biamp configuration. Thankfully, I already have all the amplifier channels that I need essentially for the theater between dual NADM28 units. I'll have to acquire some more gear to get these guys in to the living room, but I'll be working on that in the meantime. The theater will get done first. The living room will come downstream of there. We also have to do some other reconstruction and rebuilding in the theater to accomplish this installation and all of the goals that I have for these speakers and subwoofers there. Of course, if you'd like to buy any of this stuff, Techthusiasm is a dealer for a whole bunch of audio, video, and home theater brands, including Kaleidoscape, JVC, Panamorph, Seymour Screens, and a whole bunch more. Go to www.techthusiasm.net/brands and you can see all of that. I am able to procure and sell a variety of the Focal models, including the architectural lines. So if you're interested in this stuff, general home theater consulting, you're speccing out a project, you want to work together, you want to work with me, reach out Jeremy at techthusiasm.net, or just go to the webpage and use the contact form there. If you'd like to help support me in other ways to help carry the load and pay for all of the kind of stuff that's going on around here so that I can make cool home theater vloggy content for you, check down in the description. There's a whole bunch of general affiliates. Best Buy, Walmart, Target, Newegg, Audio Advice, and others are down there. Please use those with your general shopping. If you'd like to become a channel member, I'd love to welcome a bunch of new channel members into the Techthusiasm Club, as well as feel free to leave a super thanks, PayPal, Venmo tip. Otherwise, please do that regular YouTube stuff. Like, subscribe, hit the bell, share the video, leave a comment. Do you have architectural speakers? Are you a Focal fan? What do you have? What are you thinking about? What are you debating? What do you want to upgrade to? Leave those comments down there and let's have some dialogue about it. Do you happen to actually have any of the 1000 Utopia speakers already? I would love to hear about what you got and what your experience with them is. So stay tuned to the channel for a lot more on this to come. I will be filming the IWLCR Utopia, similar unbox, first take, hands-on video next. And then as more of the stuff comes, again, we'll be getting right into the installations. So coming back for that, as well as the regular home theater discussion and fun. This is going to be some massive fun coming here when these boys are running in the room. Thanks so much for watching.